union. And I think young people can find that place today as well.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You know, when you listen to your story, Carolyn, I think one of the things that stands out is so many people today and back then looked at the union as, you know, they saw us with picket signs, they saw us, you know, in the workplaces. But what you did, like your history really takes us back to how we moved outside that, how we moved to working in the communities, working with other groups who had similar interests that we did and similar fights that we had.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Je suis un peu comme un écrivain, j'ai le syndrome de la page blanche. J'écris tout ce que je dois dire, mais je dis rarement ce que j'écris. Donc, puis en plus, je voulais aussi souligner, on a parlé de légende tantôt, vous voyez, lorsque vous allez être plus vieux, vous allez être mieux assis que vous l'êtes là présentement. J'ai commencé à faire du syndicat dans les années 73. Je suis né dans un petit village, sur une île qui s'appelle l'île d'Anticosti. Et ce village-là et cette île-là était la propriété d'une compagnie, Power Corporation, pour ne pas la nommer. Et ils décidaient, ils étaient maîtres et seigneurs sur cette île-là. Ils décidaient de tout, même du loisir, des loisirs de leurs travailleurs. Et ils décidaient de la couleur de la maison et même la sorte de pinceau qu'il fallait pour la peinturer. Moi, j'avais 20 ans, je me suis fait une amie à Havre-Saint-Pierre. On s'est mariés. Comme tous les jeunes de mon âge, j'avais soif de liberté et je voulais un monde un peu plus égalitaire, partager un peu plus la richesse. Et j'étais donc venu pour le syndicat des métallos. J'ai commencé à travailler à la mine de fer et titane en 1973. Fer et titane, à ce moment-là, appartenait à Kennecott Corporation, une minière. Et à ce moment-là, à Havre-Saint-Pierre, la situation était, les gens ne travaillaient pas l'année, 7 à 8 mois par année. Le fonds de pension était quasi inexistant, les assurances aussi. Les gens venaient de sortir de 2 grèves assez importantes en 69 et en 72. Il y avait beaucoup de démobilisation et il y avait des guerres intestines à l'intérieur de notre syndicat. Moi, j'étais jeune, j'étais un peu ignorant de ce qu'était le syndicat. Donc, on nous a choisi, quelques-uns de mon âge, pour faire partie de la nouvelle exécutif syndical. On a accepté, on a fait partie de cet exécutif syndical-là et on a déjà, en 1974, pour ceux qui s'en souviennent, le coût de la vie a démarré d'une façon exponentielle et nos salaires ne suffisaient plus à se payer ce qu'on devait se payer, nos maisons, nos voitures ou notre épicerie. Donc, déjà là, on a commencé une bataille avec la compagnie entre 2 négociations pour aller à chercher l'augmentation du coût de la vie, ce qu'on appelait le BVC. Et au bout de 2-3 mois de confrontation, de ralentissement de travail, de grève illégale, on a réussi et on a gagné cette première bataille-là. Pour nous, jeunes comme on était à cette époque-là, bien, ça a été important, ça nous a stimulés pour continuer à se battre et à tenter d'augmenter nos conditions de travail. Notre président du temps a dû démissionner peu de temps après parce qu'il avait subi une campagne de salissage de la part de notre employeur sur sa vie privée, sur son passé qu'il avait. Et ça l'a fatigué, il a dû démissionner. Et c'est notre vice-président, Roland Arsenault, qui était l'oncle de l'actuel président du local, Steve Arsenault, qui est ici à quelque part. Et moi, j'ai servi de pont entre les 2 Arsenault, l'oncle et le neveu. Donc, en 1974, Roland a pris le local. Et à ce moment-là, moi, je me souviens, j'étais mécanicien. On voyait des travailleurs avec des cancers aux intestins, des cancers de la vessie, travailler avec des sacs sur le côté, dans des camions qui n'avaient aucune suspension ou démonter des pneus avec des petites barres de 3-4 pieds. Les conditions de travail étaient effroyables. Donc, Roland est arrivé et nous, les jeunes, on discutait de ça. Roland, il dit, on va se faire un plan de match. Lorsqu'il a pris la présidence, il dit, on va aller sur 3 points. On va se battre pour notre fonds de pension, on va se battre pour nos assurances, puis vous allez avoir de la formation. Parce qu'on n'avait aucune formation, on ne savait pas dans quoi est-ce qu'on s'embarquait. Et Roland nous a leadé pendant plusieurs années dans ces domaines-là et on a négocié en 1978 des bonnes conventions. Les travailleurs étaient contents et d'autres jeunes se sont joints à nous, à notre équipe, pour mieux se solidariser. Malheureusement, en 80, pendant les fêtes, à la veille de la négociation de 1981, Roland est décédé. Et moi, à ce moment-là, j'étais devenu vice-président. J'avais débuté comme secrétaire trésorier, j'étais devenu vice-président. Donc, en vertu de la constitution de notre syndicat, je devenais président. Ce n'est pas un choix que j'ai fait immédiatement parce que j'avais 28 ans à ce moment-là. On avait au-delà de 400 travailleurs. Il y avait beaucoup de pression au niveau syndical, je le savais. C'était des pressions qui se reflétaient aussi au niveau de ma famille. Donc, j'ai consulté mon permanent du temps, mes amis, l'exécutif. Finalement, j'ai accepté et j'ai pris la présidence en 81. Je me souviens comme si c'était hier de ma première réunion syndicale. J'avais un stylo avec un cap dessus et je shakeais tellement que j'ai trouvé de le mettre entre mes genoux pour le fermer, pour le serrer, pour ne pas démontrer ma nervosité que j'avais à ce moment-là. Mais ça a bien été. On a négocié en 81, on a eu un bon contrat de travail et en 82, j'ai été réélu. En 84, j'étais encore président. On a négocié une bonne convention collective et après la négociation, j'ai été recruté par la grosse équipe du syndicat des métallos. Je suis devenu permanent au sein du syndicat des métallos en 84. J'ai été permanent 2 ans. Mais pendant les 2 ans que j'étais permanent, j'étais basé à cette île. J'ai travaillé avec ceux qui le connaissent, peut-être Michel Arsenault, qui était un ami et mon patron dans le temps. J'ai travaillé avec Michel Arsenault et j'ai négocié et arbitré différents arbitrages, mais j'ai fait une négociation qui est demeurée dans mon esprit et c'est celle de Raymond Industries. Raymond Industries, c'est une petite shop à cette île de soudeurs et de machinistes qui appartenait à 3 propriétaires. Cette shop-là, il y avait un gars, un des propriétaires, il était un peu malade dans la tête. Il menaçait les délégués lorsqu'il allait leur présenter des griefs. Moi, j'étais à la table de négociation et c'était une table vitrée, c'était un mur vitré et j'avais le dos à son bureau à lui. À un moment donné, durant la négociation, j'apprends qu'il y avait un revolver caché dans un tiroir de bureau et lorsque les délégués allaient le voir pour discuter d'un grief, il ouvrait puis il montrait le gun pour les épeurer. Quand j'ai vu ça, j'ai dit non, on ne tolérera pas ça, puis d'autant plus qu'il est dans mon dos. Fait que j'appelle le président de la compagnie, puis je dis viens au bureau des métallos, sur la rue Arnaud. J'ai dit il faut que je te parle. Il arrive au bureau, j'ai dit sors avec moi dehors. J'ouvre ma valise d'auto. J'avais un pump gun dans ma valise d'auto avec une boîte de cartouches. J'ai dit demain, lorsqu'on va aller à la table de négociation, on va changer nos places. Toi, tu vas te placer le dos au mur, là, puis moi, je vais être là. Fait que si Roger Larreau va sortir son 38, baisse-toi, je le tire au travers de la vitre. Mais il dit, t'es fou? J'ai dit, peut-être, mais pas autant que ton associé qui est dans le bureau l'autre bord. Ça fait que là, ben, on ne négociera pas comme ça. Ben, j'ai dit, c'est sûr qu'on ne négociera pas comme ça. Finalement, ils se sont entendus, on a breaké la négociation et les 2 autres actionnaires ont acheté les parts et ils l'ont foutu dehors. Quelques années plus tard, ce même type a tiré avec un canon tronçonné au travers d'une porte. Un homme à cette île, il a arraché un bras. Fait qu'il était vraiment malade dans sa tête, ce type-là. Puis lorsque ça arrivé, Michel Arsenault m'a appelé. « Hey, dis-le, t'en rappelles-tu du fou à la rose? » J'ai dit « Ouais, c'est ça. » Fait que on était confrontés souvent aussi dans ces temps-là à ce genre de situation-là. J'ai quitté la permanence en 84, pas par rapport à Roger Larreau, mais je m'en allais directement vers un divorce. Vous savez, c'est extrêmement demandant le travail d'un permanent et on sait que dans des régions comme la nôtre, c'est beaucoup de pression aussi. J'avais 2 enfants, j'ai choisi ma famille, j'ai retourné avec ma famille et je suis revenu à Havre-Saint-Pierre et en 87, j'ai été élu sur le comité de négociation. Pas besoin de vous dire qu'une autre guerre intestine a démarré encore au sein de mon syndicat et on était 3 ans dans l'enfer. Finalement, des tractations entre nous ont eu lieu et on s'est entendus et on a décidé de faire route ensemble. Je suis redevenu président de mon syndicat local en 92. À ce moment-là, le marché du travail était tombé. On a eu 42 mises à pied permanentes chez nous. La mine a fermé pendant 4 mois en 92. Et en 93, on a vécu un accident mortel d'avion où 4 de nos travailleurs ont perdu la vie. La voie ferrée était coupée. Et on a dû gérer cette crise intestine-là qui a été très difficile pour les familles. Et on a négocié 96 et 2002. Et on a négocié des conventions collectives de 5 ans, 6 ans. C'était des nouvelles conventions collectives où la compagnie voulait avoir une certaine sécurité de travail plus stable parce qu'on avait brassé beaucoup. J'ai pris ma retraite en 2006, mais j'ai fait 30 ans de syndicat. Et 3 mots que j'ai retenus, surtout dans toute mon expérience syndicale, c'est la formation. La formation, notre syndicat est un grand syndicat et il est un grand syndicat parce qu'il offre une formation de qualité. Comme jeune délégué, vous devez exiger cette formation-là. Et il n'y a pas de problème, notre syndicat va vous la donner, il l'a, il est capable de vous la transmettre. L'autre chose que j'ai retenue, c'est la communication. Trop peu souvent, on dit à nos amis, à notre famille ou à des gens avec lesquels on jase, qu'est-ce qu'on fait dans le syndicat? Qu'est-ce qu'on partage? Lorsqu'on fait des batailles avec les employeurs, souvent, les journalistes complaisants disent « Ah, mais c'est un petit groupe, c'est encore les syndicats. » Les syndicats, on est la plus importante organisation de partage de richesses qui existe. Et c'est démocratique. Donc, il faut le dire, ça, qu'à chaque fois qu'on fait des gains, c'est toute la société qui en profite. Troisième chose que j'ai retenue, c'est l'autocritique. Si notre syndicat est aussi fort, aussi représentatif de ses travailleurs aujourd'hui, c'est parce qu'on est capable de s'autocritiquer. Il ne faut pas avoir peur à chaque fois qu'on change de poste dans le syndicat, qu'on devient secrétaire, délégué, vice-président, président, permanent, coordonnateur, adjoint, directeur. Les gens nous voient différemment. Une chose que vous devez faire lorsque les gens changent de poste, ces gens-là, quand ils changent de poste, si on veut améliorer notre syndicat, ce qu'ils doivent entendre, ce n'est pas ce que vous pensez qu'ils aimeraient entendre. Ce qu'ils doivent entendre, c'est ce que vous devez leur dire. C'est ce que vous vivez. C'est ce que vous ressentez. Pas être complaisant parce qu'il est devenu permanent, président ou autre chose. Ce que ces gens-là ont besoin de savoir, s'ils veulent bien nous représenter, c'est la vérité, ce qu'on ressent, nous, comme travailleurs. Et c'est ça qu'ils ont besoin de savoir. C'est ces 3 mots-là. La formation, la communication et l'autocritique. Merci.
Merci, Luc. Just thinking back to what you were saying about when you first started out in the mines, thinking back to that time in the mines, it was not a very safe place to be. And I'm sure some of the steps that you took in your local around health and safety in the mining industry formed the way for a lot of the things that became very common in the mining industry as years went along. So it was very interesting to hear you talk about that. The other thing, the episode with the gun, well, I've never had that happen, but sounds like you had some interesting times back then. And I agree, look, education, I think the steelworkers have the best education program of any union anywhere. And again, it goes back to, the work that you did here in District 5, the local that we've done through the other districts and the national office to build that kind of education program. Because I'm sure all of us here, we are where we are today because of the education that this union has given us. So thank you very much for sharing those experiences with us.
En 1978, on a eu une des premières conventions collectives où on a inscrit le droit de refus de travailler. Et la première personne qui a testé cette clause-là, c'est moi. Je me suis fait congédier. J'ai été réinstallé après. Mais après, c'est devenu force de loi, un peu plus tard dans l'histoire, au niveau sécuritaire.
Okay, so now we move on to Keith. Keith was I've known Keith for many, many years. We started out in District 3 when I went on staff. Keith was on staff back then, and we've worked together for many years, and again, one of my very dear friends. But Keith, was there a moment for you when you knew that you actually had to get involved in the union? And did you find people who were like you, who thought like you thought, and who wanted the same sorts of things that you wanted, not just for yourself, but for workers in general?
I guess getting ready for this meeting, I got an email a few months ago wanting me to participate in the Next Gen conference, and I was thinking everybody was nuts because they hadn't seen my birth certificate for some time. But my journey through the union started in 1985, and our work site was rescued. My work site was rescued by the steelworkers from another union who was employer-dominated and just not doing a very good job of anything. So in 1985, we disbanded a structure, and we were in the process of building our first local union. And everything was from scratch. The folks that got elected to the executive were all brand new in their positions, very little history with the steelworkers, and most of them had very little history of being involved in unions, period. We had a new staff rep assigned to us, a wimpy little guy, Steve Hunt. I think people might know him. I hope he's in the room, because he assigned me to this. And Steve was new in the job and learning it, but he brought with him an ethic that reflected on us all, and we built a local union. The education that the union brought, we built my first role in the union was a shop steward. Shortly became a chief steward in a department. I worked in the maintenance department in a coal mine. We then structured a grievance committee. Within about 6 months, we had a shop steward base of over 60 people. A similar structure in health and safety with a health and safety chair, with people that really cared about workers and the workforce. But we were also preparing for our first collective agreement as steelworkers, and we had to rewrite a collective agreement. We did that in 1986. That bargaining session lasted over 60 meetings. And if anybody has been to the bargaining table, that's monumental. That's marathon bargaining. That's rewrite. We even rewrote the front cover. It was monumental. But we changed the lives for everybody during that set of negotiations. We brought seniority for the first time to the collective agreement. We brought a job posting system that wasn't built on favoritism. We brought a grievance procedure that actually allowed you to resolve grievances. And from there, the mine grew. And the activism grew in the local, and that's really what we were building. We were structured and building a local union through the assistance of the steelworkers, the education program, but we were building activism. We didn't know it then. I was 27 years old. I never considered myself an ex-genner at that time, but I guess I could have been. But what we did was, we built a union in northeastern British Columbia. And it was part of something bigger, and I didn't realize how big it was, I guess, until 1986. It was my first convention with the union, and to see the different people that the union represented and just how big it was and how well structured it was overwhelming, and it was inspiring at that point. I got offered the staff position in 1988, and life since then has been somewhat of a blur. A variety of different bargainings, a variety of different assignments, working in just about every sector a person can imagine. I bargained in steel, mining, manufacturing, healthcare now, and Carolyn can relate. A difficult area to negotiate in. A lot of part-time position, a lot of single moms. It's not new. Their struggles are the struggles that people were talking about this morning with the next generation, the younger workers. But it's bargaining that I think provides us with that opportunity to provide change and to foster change. And the bargaining process knows no age. If you're 25, you can be involved. If you're 19, you can be involved. If you're 66, you can be involved. It's being willing to listen and willing to engage the groups and the membership as much as we can to gain their ideas and gain their knowledge, and then put forward through proposals where we're on an equal footing with most employers. And it's that process where we can make change that affects people's lives on a day-to-day basis at work through language. Language in the collective agreement is often far more important than money or any other monetary item. We often lose sight of that. And sometimes we race our way through the bargaining process to get to the money, and we shouldn't. the process has taught me, and I paraphrase it in three things really. It's in wishes, wants, and needs. You know, we've all got the grocery list when we go to the bargaining table. We've got those things we would really like to get, the wants, but it's the needs that really make the difference. Those are the things that are tangible to people. Those are things that people can take home to their families and share with them. And that's where I think we need to focus more on, and we would find more success at the bargaining table through focusing on exact needs. But, you know, my journey through the union, and I speak about it frequently, I've seen it change. See me change. I used to be the youngest guy in the room, now I'm not. It's you know, it's an opportunity to spend your life working, helping people. There's no better job. There's no better opportunity than the union to do that work. And I've been privileged to work for the union.
So, Keith, when you talk about, I mean, your beginnings were in the mining industry, but I also know that a lot of the work you did when you were in Alberta around the healthcare, the nursing homes there, and you know that they were in such a disarray, and the work that you did to bring them together, and not just to bring the workers together and be able to get, you know, really good collective agreements, but also in finding some leaders within that sector, you know, young leaders, women leaders who have gone on now to become activists in their locals as well. So, you know, you have done a lot of good work in the years that you've been involved with the steel workers, and I know as we move forward, it's always good that we can look back and see that we have helped bring some young folks along and some women along, and a lot of that credit goes to you and the work that you've done for sure.
Well, you know, we do what we do, but you know, it's the members, the healthcare groups especially. It's harder for them to get involved, mostly because lots of them are young single moms. And in many ways, that creates certain hurdles to getting involved, and it's being available so that they can at least participate. Sometimes it's not even a membership meeting, sometimes it's a phone call. Last few years it's been texting, and I've been dealing with that, trying to figure it out, but we're getting there. I tease the groups I work with now. I got a group of folks in a place called Medicine Hat. We've got 3 nursing homes there, about 600 members in healthcare. And I'll send them emails. Then I have to send them a text so that they read their emails. So I call that my under 35 group. The over 35 group seems to look at their emails periodically, so you don't have to remind them. But you know, other hurdles is just home life. A home life for young sisters is often challenging.
It is.
And it's challenging really 3 careers is how I look at it. They've got their home life, and that's a full-time job for most. They've got their job where they're working to provide for their families, and then their volunteerism to be involved in their union. And we've got to do whatever is necessary as the leadership of the union to make that volunteerism easy so that people can participate. Views to those folks that will listen. It's important. It's important to take the time to listen to the next gen, because they are the future of our union. We're not. My days are numbered. And you know, the young people that I've met that are young, it feels good because the union's going to be left in good shape.
Yeah, that's very true. So Ken, to turn it to you for a moment now, the stories that we're hearing from our panel members, are there stories that sound familiar to you? And the other thing I would like to ask is there any one particular incident or issue that you've taken on where you actually saw the power of the union at work?
Well, listening to the stories this morning from Luke and Keith and Carolyn, it brings back a lot of memories, and it just goes to show you the kind of institution that we are. And I think Keith's moment a few moments ago talked about how our career has kind of gone by in a blur, and the fact is that it's just a very good feeling to get up every morning and you've got an opportunity to help people. So to me, that's one of the great things that being involved and have for all those years that I have. And you talk about a single thing about there's so many that in my career that I've had the opportunity that have changed people's lives, and one that really hits home the most, actually Caroline mentioned it in regards to Elma. And I'm sure everyone in this room knows that in Quebec we had a huge dispute they basically went into a community and tried to take away some benefits and not give jobs to the next generation, that sort of stuff. And I was involved very much with the global federations around the world, and that was Industrial and ICM and IMF, and we were able to put together a gathering in Elma that brought thousands and thousands of people. We had people from right around the globe, and it was just one of the most highlighted things that I've ever seen when we had that march of 7,000 people in this community. The people of Elma were just so grateful, and it's because of that action is that we were successful, that we sent a very clear and powerful message to the global communities that look at, you take on the fight, that you're going to take on a fight with the steelworkers. That's one that clearly comes to mind, and Carolyn just mentioned how, again, that we had people from Elma come and help in Hamilton just recently at the end of January, because we're going through a steelworker crisis in the steel industry. That's the kind of stuff that the steelworkers talk about. That's what we've built the momentum in regards to our ability to fight. And again, that there's numerous. I mean, you can talk about organizing drives where you have changed the lives of office technical groups where you have changed the lives of so many people. Keith talked about the mining industry, which I was involved in. Those are just great things that the steelworkers do every day. So it's great to just sit and listen and look at our history. And I look at the folks that are here at the Next Gen conference and are going to be at the conference. This is the future leaders going ahead, and it's no different than we got involved. We can look past it, look behind us at some of the leaders that have given us this great opportunity. They've given us that foundation. They've given us a foundation to build this great organization and work on behalf of the betterment of not just our members, but society as a whole. I mean, we've got a huge responsibility in regards to the inequalities that Carolyn talked about, pay equity. There's so much injustice. There's so much things that are taking place out there, and that's why that we get involved in politics, because politics does matter, because that's the society that we believe in, and we want to make sure that we equip and give the opportunity to all our members. Like this week, we've got the Next Geners, because they are the future leaders, and as I said, I've had that opportunity along with the people on this stage, that we've had that opportunity. The union gave us that. We've taken advantage of it, and we move forward. So it's good to be here and listen and share some of those stories.
Look, I would like to just wrap up. We only got a few more minutes, but looking at us here on the stage this morning, we all grew up at similar times. We were born at similar times. So I want to ask Carolyn in closing, the things that you talked about, the things you got involved in, and the many actions that you took. Did growing up in the 60s influence that? Because no one in this room, probably other than us, remembers the 60s, but they were some pretty good times. Were those things that influenced you and the actions you took back then?
Absolutely. I mean, the 60s was an extraordinary time. I mean, late 60s, early 70s maybe were the 60s for us. I don't know. But that's when things were happening. And around the world, or in the States, with the civil rights movement, the women's movement, everything that was happening, liberation movements around the world, the exchange of ideas, Paris 68, and the trade unions were there. It was an extraordinary time. But it was also very much a youth movement. And I think that's what's so important, too, for this conference. It was a youth movement. People were literally doing it for themselves, and the young people were saying, we were a part of them, that what is not good enough. What is not good enough. And it was a very different time. You don't repeat history, but you learn lessons from it. And I do remember an older trade unionist that I knew in that time thought we were great, we were doing all these wonderful things, but said, you know what, kids are great, but unless you learn some discipline, you'll sell out for a cigarette when the revolution comes. And I said, oh my goodness, we all smoked in those days, of course. And that always stayed with me in a certain sense. But I think, when I was watching the Trump rally in Chicago on CNN, I don't know if people had an opportunity to see that. And one of the commentators said, oh my goodness, it's like Chicago 68. Well, I wasn't in Chicago in 68. But when I saw those young Black, Hispanic, white kids from a university, a working class university, saying, this racist, this right-wing, whatever, coming to our town, our university, and spewing this hate, we're not going to allow it to happen. And they just took it into their own hands, went in, whatever you think of that or not, but they shut it down, and I think it helped change the tenor of the election a little bit. So I just think I have a tremendous faith in the next gen. I mean, we were there once, we did our thing, we did our bargaining, we did our organizing, and organizing the university sector is one of my happiest, being in the University of Toronto organizing drive. But there is so much potential, there's so much creativity and life and vitality in youth. And you don't have the baggage that we've all accumulated through our many, many years that maybe slows us down a little bit, maybe it doesn't. But you're going to make your own lives, your own issues. You're going to fight your own way. But I think our union needs you, and it will bring the vitality that will just keep our union strong. It's one of the best unions in the world. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you all, panelists. It was a great discussion, some very interesting topics, and it was almost like just a few moments to reminisce about where we came from. And we hope that you take something away from this. And like Carolyn said, it's going to your hands now. And we don't want to lose the things that we fought for the last 30, 35 years. And you have your own challenges. And, they're probably no better or no worse than the ones we had. But anything that we can do to assist along the way, we will do that. Because we're out of time, what I will say to you, I think we're all going to be here all week. If you want to chat some more or some ideas or, hear some more stories, just track us down. We'd be happy to do that. So thank you for your attention, and enjoy the rest of your conference. Yep. It should be 10:30 if we're on time. We're going to break for 15 minutes for coffee, but please be back here at 11:45 so we can get on to the next panel. Thank you all.